Cherry Blaster Heaven, 100%. Hello everybody, welcome again to another episode of What the Fizz, that's sparkling reviews for foos. On today's episode here, what we've got is regular, original Perrier in the bottle over here. And we have got the cherry Bubly, we got the cherry here. We're just going to be exploring a couple of these different options here and seeing how it tastes and how it compares to one another for your pleasure, and just to see if we can get these taste buds going a little bit here, and let's go. Okay, so these guys here, they're obviously the Perrier Original. It comes in the regular 1 liter bottles, but we have here is the 500 milliliter bottles that comes in a 6-pack. The 6-pack usually ranges at about $6 approximately. Hardly ever go on sale for these guys here. 0 calories on this guy, obviously, and no distinct flavor. This is just the original kind. One of the originals, Perrier, goes all the way back, you know? Natural spring water, CO2. Burst your thirst. I've actually never noticed that. I've never noticed that, like a little tagline. I just love that. I just drink the water. I just show up for the goods, you know? We're gonna rip this bad boy open. Give that first taste. Doesn't do it as well with the cans with the you get that. That first taste here. Now, what I like to say about these guys here, with this plain one, it actually doesn't really give as much flavor. I know there's not really any flavor to it in the first place, but in comparison to, like, let's say the normal San Pellegrino or the Montpellier, certain ones with the original flavor, they seem to have a little bit more of a distinct taste that is a little bit more uplifting. This tends to be a little bit more on the bland side. For as much as I love Perrier and I love their different flavors, with the strawberry and the lime and the lemon and the grapefruit, etc., this guy here, it doesn't really keep up as much with that aftertaste or that flow with the first taste as you would get with some of the other flavors here. So for that reason, the first taste on this guy is going to have to be... let's give it a 7.2. I'm gonna give it points for being in a bottle. I do find that the original one does taste better in the bottle than it does in the can. So first taste here, we're gonna give it a 7.2. Aftertaste is about 7.2 as well too. You got that little bit of a rise, but not so much, right? Like, carbonation level is a little bit mid to higher range on this guy, but you don't have too much of that flow. It's just pretty basic, right? Like, as basic as carbonated water could ever get, this is it, right? This is ground zero. We're not gonna be flicking nips out of excitement over this guy right here, necessarily, but you know what? It's still good enough to have it for a buyback. Go back to the store. You want to change it up. You don't have any different flavors. You don't really feel like a flavor. You just want your normal water carbonate. Okay, sure. But if there's different options available, usually go for those. So for the balance on this guy, I would have to say, well, it does, like, gotta give him credit for that. Like, it does balance out. There's, like, nothing too sharp or too bitter or, going too crazy on this guy, but just gonna have to keep that guy at about a 7.6. Smoothness factor, it is pretty smooth though. You gotta give credit for, given the fact that it's not punching you with any specific taste like a cherry would or like a strawberry or anything like that. It does hold up. It does go down smooth. You're not choking yourself to death over anything that's burning. Fairly basic. There's not too much to say about this enough to be rather honest about it. So the smoothness on this guy, I'm going to give it a 7.9. In terms of flavor, well, it'd be biased if I gave it a very poor review on flavor, considering that it doesn't have flavor like the other ones would, but in terms of judging it against the other original flavors of the other brands, I would have to say on this guy here, could do a little bit better. You're gonna give it a flat 7 on this, which would leave it to the overall value, I would say 7.6. You got it. Moving along the line here, what we're gonna have is cherry Bubly. Oh yeah, this one, yep, again, had this one before. There's gonna be a lot on here that I have tried before, but the whole purpose of this is to just give distinct ratings, one versus another, see which one you prefer and which one I prefer, and you take it or leave it. Whether or not what I'm saying is going to be helpful, that's up to you. First taste, first crack. I'm sick to cracking skulls, punch stuff, static. Like in the old bars, right? You go to the bar or whatever, you ever do the cheers? Like, yeah, I'd like to know, like, who does the cheers that way? You know, do you cheers it and just sip it, or do you cheers it and you bang the table? Like, you know, not a lot of people do that second one, but I've become accustomed to it over the years, ever since I worked at the bar. So, first taste. Cherry blaster heaven, 100%, 100% the bubbly is reminiscent of cherry blasters. You know, going back all the way to the early 90s, late 90s. I think they've changed it up a little bit now. Like, you've got some of, you know, they kind of come in like the red and the green. But back in the day, they used to have it where the little cherry filling was in the inside. So you get that sugary taste, but you take a good bite out of it, and it's just like, ooh, that explosion of sugar, baby. Come, my lady, come, my lady. You butterfly, sugar, burger. But you know, with this guy here, definitely mad props to Bubly for that. You know, cherry's not an easy one to pull off. Sometimes the cherry taste is way too sharp, way too overbearing, and in this case it is absolutely not. First taste on this guy is absolutely going to be 8.8 aftertaste. The aftertaste, I'll give it about an 8.6, only simply because near the end there it kind of tastes like that strong ass cherry medicine that you used to have when you were a kid. You know, not as good as the banana stuff. You know, that banana stuff was always just freaking fantastic, you know. Speaking of which, my girlfriend, actually, funny enough, she actually indulges in the banana flavored baby food. Don't say that I told you this. I'm gonna be in major trouble. My ass kicked. Nonetheless, the banana is a fantastic flavor with that. Not to go too far off with that, but you know how you get that little bit of a cherry medicine? Yeah, I kind of feel at the end. Yeah, just gonna dock a couple notches of points there, but it does not ruin the overall flavor and the balance of everything. So with that being said, we're just gonna call the balance at a good 8.7. 8.7 balancing that bad boy out. Again, with the Bubblies, I've said this numerous times in the other videos, Bubblies good sale price is usually about $4.49 or $4.99 for a 12 pack on sale. If you're going to be getting it at a regular price, it's going to range between $5.99 and $6.99. Zero caloric taste, zero caloric content. When it comes to the carbonation, again, another one is going to be mid to higher end carbonation. The carbonation on this is actually a little bit stronger than what we were reviewing in the Perrier. So it actually works well in balance with the characteristics of this flavor, simply because it's meant to be a little bit sharper, right? You know, cherry is a hard one to acknowledge, it's a hard one to master, and they've done a fantastic job on nailing that one on the head. So with the flavor of that guy, we're just going to jump to the flavor. Flavor is going to be definitely going to give them 9.1 on the flavor. They're like, they've outdone themselves for sure. Again, you don't want something that's going to be too over the top and something that's just like brittle and like, you know, bland to the point where it's just like atrociously bad, you know. Bad like some flat pop that you just left out for the damn last 2 days, you know. Ain't gonna be finding that here with the cherry bubbly. Smoothness factor, I mean, yeah, this one is a little bit more that zingy texture, you know, when it's gonna punch you a little bit, gonna come down, gonna kick you in the nuts, like I like to say, kick you in the nuts. Gonna kind of give that little zing, so you feel like that extra burn. The cherry bubbly is definitely something to go with there. But with that being said, the smoothness factor on that, I'm gonna leave that about 8.8. which leaves the overall value of this guy right here approximately, I would give it about a 9.1. 9.1, that's a high score, okay? I judge these, some say a little bit too harsh, some say not harsh enough, but you know, I judge these to the best of my ability from what I'm feeling at the time off the top of my head for what's going on in my mind, you know? Got the taste buds, So, that brings us to the next category of this episode, which is called the Final Fusion. No, not the Final Countdown, the Final Fusion. The Final Fusion, what is the Final Fusion, you may ask? The Final Fusion is where we take the Tabascus Maximus, Tabasco. We mix the Tabasco for your entertainment because of my idiocy. We take the Tabasco, I put that bad boy on my tongue, I mix the other two, and then you guys can laugh at me all you want if you're still watching this damn video. R.I.P. to me. Hey. Come on, no. Oh. that one, I mean, it helps a little bit that this one doesn't have any flavor, but frick. Oh, jeez. Not awesome. Not awesome. I mean, it does help. But that cherry mixed with the Tabasco just actually kills it a little bit. I think I'm out of my head. Yeah, you know, not the worst one that I've had. I can take it to the chest, come on. I got this one good. Why do I do this? I have no idea. It just some dumb idea. I just wanted to throw at the end of the video to make it spice it up a little bit. No pun intended. But leaving you there with that guy here, which concludes another episode of What the Fizz. I hope to see you guys soon in the next episode. I thank you very much for watching and for supporting this channel for as long as you've been around. And I look forward to doing more of these for you. With that being said, I hope you guys stay real, and I will stay Caveman.